So today's question is this, which is it's a question on Python classes, and it's what is the output of this code. And basically here we have a class of a car, and it's got an attribute. Its color is set to white, and then it's got a constructor here where the user gets to input the make of the car, and that goes into the class of the car. So yes, we get self.make, and then it looks like car1 is set equal to car.forward. So you're told that you've got this, you've created this instance of this car called forward, and it's got a white color because they will all have white colors, all instances of cars. And then it says print car.make. But it just looks like it'd be forward and nothing else. So I'm just wondering why that is questionable. What is the output of this code and why? So let's just code this. I'm quite sure that it's forward. Stick your comments in the video. I'm hoping that I've got this right, but I don't know. Maybe for some reason, car.make. Well, it's not going to be white because car.color would be white, so it's not going to be white. Possibly like it's malformed. I would see that it'd be more obvious to me if it's malformed in a linter. So it could be like an attribute error or a type error, but it's unlikely. Unless, like, for example, make couldn't accept a string, maybe you could define it as a string. So let's just go through this. This is an image, so I can't copy the text. I'll have to retype the text. I'll move it over to the side somewhere, and I will retype the text myself. Probably zoom in one more level, Control Plus, and do just move it over there on the other side, just so that I can see. And I'll do a class then. So we're going to make a class. In fact, there we go. Hold on, I'll do it like this, class, because it's got the class with the initializations, description of the class. My class is slightly better. So something about a car. So we've got that part of it, and then this is class car. And as the convention is to the first letter of a class in Python. It's just a convention. You don't have to do it. I'm allowed to do car, small car, but the convention is that it's a capital. So it's got a color. Color is written by an American. If it was written by an English person, it'd have COLOUR probably. And its color is white. You can use single quotes. You can use double quotes. And then we've got this constructor. The constructor is exactly the same as you can see here, which is always you're calling this. You've got this double underscore in it, double underscore, and then open brackets, self, comma, and then any arguments that you want to pass in. So I like my default argument here is a, and then I've got and this pattern here is quite common as well, which is self.make equals make. That's how you sort of like pass arguments into the constructor of a class. So I'm going to change a to make just for it to be consistent. So this was just my templating stuff. So we're now taking in a make, and I'll go one step further to say that it's a string. There we go. And here self.make equals make. So a slight difference. Mine is that I've type defined or I've type hinted, not type defined. I've given a type hint that make is a string. The reason why I say that is because I see here that forward is a string. We know that whatever we're passing in is a string. So now let's create an instance. I do and don't have to put the return. I leave it there because I think it's nicer sometimes to have to. I just think it's visually sometimes the return helps. That's all. It's easy. It makes it easier to see. But then if you've got like loads of methods inside your class, then you probably remove the returns because it'd be like a nice pattern forming. But if you've only got one method or two methods, The return helps you to understand where it stopped. Now, we create an instance of a car, so let's comment our code. There we go, and we say that car1 is equal to car, and that's a nice thing with IntelliSense is you do that. I had an argument with my nephew about this because, well, not an argument, a discussion, because he likes to type everything out and I like the IntelliSense because the IntelliSense stops me making any mistakes. Anyway, we get this car and it's a Ford, like that. This didn't have to be capital, you can be whatever string you want. And then we will print our car. Aha, here we go. So if I was printing, well, actually, let's have a look. If I was printing car1, these are my options for printing. The first thing I was going to say is print car1, but that would print like a something in the memory, like a position in the memory, I think it would be, or a class car or something. Let's just have a look. We'll hit the F5 button to run it. And we get this thing here, which is main.car object at this like address of memory. So it doesn't tell us very much about the car. So that was like option number 1. So now in here also we could print car like that without the car.make and F5. And here's the nuance or trick, which is what the question was about. So it would, I think now it is going to be an attribute error or a type error, and I'll explain why. But anyway, I could print like this big car. It does exist somewhere, and it's class main.car, so I could print that. Now if I print car.make, and this is why I was saying it will pop up anyway, you can already see that these are the attributes, and this is why I like the IntelliSense actually, so it makes me a bit lazy. But if I do make's not recognized. It's put something in, like it's sort of like recognized it from here, but it's not. So just wondering what's going to come out, but I'm sure it's one of the errors. And there we get an attribute error. And the reason why we get an attribute error, and this was the thing about, like, again, I should pull this over. These questions are always kind of like loaded questions, if that makes sense, because they put like this slight nuancy little thing in there. If it was car1.make, it would have been fine because car1.make, and so like one of those things where like you look at this pattern and you sort of like there's an elephant in the room but you don't see the elephant. So they like put this in front of you, but if it was car1.make, then it'd be Ford. So straight away you're going for like a Ford. The thing that might throw you is you might have thought like if it was like why did they put white? But anyway, white would have been wrong having seen that just because it's got a capital. So maybe that would have thrown you out from it. Now, would it be a type error? I might have thought it could have been either of the two, the attribute or the type error. But anyway, let's put in the corrected version of it then in that respect, because what you are expecting to do, if you wanted to see of the make of the instance of the vehicle that you made, you would do car1 like that, and then dots, and straight away you get the attributes, by the way, exposed for you anyway, which is .make, or you get the methods and attributes actually exposed, but it's no methods, it's just a constructor. But car1.make is what you get, and that's what it should have been and what your mind would have gone to. And like if we did a second car, which was like, for example, car2, and it wasn't a Ford, it was a Toyota, then we could also print car2.make. But more importantly, actually, well, not more importantly, but equally, we could have car1.color and also, oops, car2.color. And we didn't create a color anywhere, but the attributes are always colors because they're in the top before anything's created. So like we could have put color in here into like overwritten color or something like that, or we could have done I'll just run this anyway because now we're going to see, you know, these two different cars with their two different colours. So we'll hit F5 on this to run it. And down at the bottom, if I just do a colour control, it's just down here. We've got Ford, which is white, and Toyota, which is white. And that comes from there. Now, what else could we have done on there that was just about to talk about? Yes, I'm just getting back to this. We could have done, so this is now true for all vehicles unless we kind of like set something in our code to change like car 1's colour or car 2's colour. But if we wanted also to sort of like have a default colour of white, we could have done here colour. Colour equals, or colour colon as a string, because we want to type in that it's a string. And then we could have set it to a default value of white here. And that means, it's quite a nice cute way of doing this. We never had to have the white here. And then also that self dot color equals color, like that. And we see here that there's no color attribute actually on that one. So let's have a little run of Ford. I wonder if we have to do anything else. Maybe we'd have to set a color or not, but I think that should just default to white actually. So let's have a little check of that one. Car attribute, car object has no attribute color. Oh, the reason why is because us English people write colour differently, and the reason why U was taken out of the word, many words actually in US Word, so I discovered, was to save ink because it was quite expensive back in the day when it was a printing press. So there we go. I should have got that straight away, because here's the thing. When I had a misspelling, we can see that the colour on my colour attribute over here went white. And that was already a hint, and that was why I was a little bit concerned about it. That was my typo. Now it turns blue, so it's all fixed. And so this is quite a nice way of doing it, because if you hit F5 now, you do get the Ford and the white. But the other thing is you could now, if you could now choose a second color if you wanted to, and if you didn't choose the second color, you've got it set as white. So, and it says here color, which is a string, is effectively defaulted to as white, and we will now set it as black. So let's do it in, yeah, we won't. There we go, we've got black now. So if we run our code again, our first car, which is our Ford, is white, and our second car, which is a Toyota, is black. So whilst we have these, I'm going to call them, I'll still use some of these because they're sort of like good bases to work off, but because it helps you, it just gives you another topic to look at, should we say. You know, in this particular case we're looking at Python classes. But what it does, or it's interesting, but they throw you these things that potentially throw these little confusions in that might actually ruin your Python skills by putting these very close fake errors in. They're designed that way to sort of like make people think. But anyway, that is a very small intro into classes, or a little puzzle in classes. And I'll just zoom in a bit more on the code just before I close that video. But if you do like the video, or it'd be helpful if you hit the like button on the video. If you've got any comments about the code itself, feel free to put in the comments. If you can follow, that will be fantastic too. And that's it. So that was Python classes with a little puzzle.